And we're live.
All right, good day to you all. Grand Rising. Welcome. Greetings to you all. You are tuned in to Primetime Good Morning from Africatown, Los Angeles, brought to you by the one and only United Empires of Akibaline. We are here tonight sharing a deep conversation, an important conversation with you all regarding depression. April is National Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're going to be talking about depression, how it affects the Black community as a silent killer. So you all don't want to miss this. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like and share, and let's go.
Warning, the following program contains strong Black first opinions about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissy.
Grand Rising All, you are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
All right, welcome everyone. Like I said before, we are here joining us as the United Empires of Akibaline, representing on our radio broadcast for prime time, the Good Morning from Africatown, Los Angeles morning radio show. Again, we're here talking about a very important conversation, very important subject, which is depression. Okay. I want you all to please stay tuned. Please do not chime out because you're not entertained by something ratchet. We are here with solutions, having a real conversation about what is affecting our Black community as a whole. We're going to get down to the core of this conversation. So stay tuned, chime in, engage, give your input, your insight, ask your questions, and let's get right into it.
Yes, Queen. I want to say this. Let me see if y'all can hear, if you can hear this. So give me 1 minute. Let me kind of read something to you. And can you still
Went
can
out for
y'all
a
hear me?
second.
Sound like it cut off.
Can you hear me, Queen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on my phone. People are trying to call me. I want to point out some stuff. Lord have mercy. Can you hear me? I am so sorry. I don't know why every
You're
time I get
fine.
on, everybody wants to call me. Okay, give me 1 second. I want to point out some pointers. There is studies. You can Google it. I Googled on YouTube how mental health and depression affects Black men, how mental health and depression affects Black women. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure
Okay.
can.
And there are YouTube videos out there, and I was going to show it, but I'm on my phone right now at work. And they are, everybody says it in these certain YouTube videos, from the news, from news art outlets. They were saying how Black women are affected by mental health and depression, postpartum depression, and we are affected more than any other race. But yet at the end of the video, they'll say, well, we're talking about all women. We're talking about Black women right now, not all women. But there is things that we need to understand. And I'm gonna make 5 pointers, and I'm gonna let y'all talk. Depression is affecting the Black community. Depression is the silent killer of the Black community. This is why we are not getting along with each other. This is why I feel, this is my opinion, that this is why it's so easy for us to kill each other, to ignore our own problems. We've been trained to ignore our problem inside, and it's killing us slowly. There, number one, stigma and cultural barriers. There's a prevailing stigma around mental health within the Black community, which often leads to underreporting and reluctance to seek help. This stems from cultural beliefs and historical experiences of oppression. We are programmed that you're crazy or you shouldn't go to the doctor to see a psychiatrist or to get therapy. Number two, access to mental health care. Black individuals often face barriers in accessing quality mental health, including lack of culturally competent providers, financial constraints, and systemic inequalities within the healthcare system. We know that we have been struggling. We don't really have health insurance. We don't really have a bunch of Black doctors that are in mental health. So when we go before these white doctors trying to tell our problem, they don't understand it, just like they don't understand the racism that's going on in America. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes,
Loud
ma'am.
and clear.
Okay, number three, racial trauma and discrimination. The experience of racial trauma and systemic discrimination can contribute to higher rates of depression, anxiety in the Black community. This includes the impact of historical racial injustices. We deal with it every day and we're told to just go on. There is nothing left for us, but we are facing a place, we're in a place where everybody's saying cry for the Palestinians, cry for Israel. Just like the other show we did the other day, we got Black people who say they're not going to vote for Biden, not because of what's going on with Black America, but only what they see. We're taught to look out our window in this burning house that we are only in the structure now. We're taught to look out our burning house window and cry for the neighbors who have a full house. They're just going through a little stuff in their house. Okay. Number four, intersectionality. The intersection of race, gender, socioeconomic factors can compound the effects of depression within the Black community, leading to unique changes and disparities in mental health outcomes. They get us to jump along with the LBGT bandwagon. They get us to go separate ourselves in so many groups because that is just a faucet of what is wrong with us. As humans, we all have problems. But the main problem with the Black community, the world never focuses on our problem. They use it to make money, even our own people. We'll go with LGBTQ, we'll go with the Democratic, we'll go with everything but facing the major problem. And it has to be depressing, even with the rich people, to wake up every day and ignore that you're Black so that you can live in this white man society. Number five, community support and healing. Despite these challenges, there are growing efforts within the Black community to prioritize mental health, wellness, promote open dialogue, and create supportive spaces for healing and resilience, but it's not enough. So that's why I wanted to take the stand today to talk more, because I talk to my friends all the time, different people all the time. There are so many people that has tried to commit suicide that you will never know about. I had people when I worked in the news place. I'll go back. They little by little, almost about 5 people I work with at my news station has already committed suicide, and they smiled every day. They love their sports team. They did what everybody do every day. That's because we're taught to ignore the whole problem, because as a Black community, we are separated and we are set out in this world. We all doctors, and so we got to get with the doctors. If we lawyers, we get with the lawyers, and if we restaurant owners, we get with the community that we work in. But at the end of the day, we go home to a diverse community, and there is no real Black community. We are struggling with mental health, and depression to me is the silent killer. I land my plane and I'll let the rest of y'all talk as I finish washing these dishes.
Ooh wee. What an awesome start to this conversation. So much truth. And like Queen Tina just said, what she just read, you can Google those things. We're so afraid to tap into knowledge and wisdom and insight and the ability to level up, to change, to grow, that it's our own demise. I don't want to knock anyone's belief, anyone's faith, their foundational grounding. I have a strong foundational roots in the church, in the Black church. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I know what I know now, and I have a different perspective, but I would never change my experience, because I've allowed myself to learn and evolve and be open-minded, right? So to each his own. But I'll say this, when it comes to mental health with the Black community, we have been so programmed to rely solely on prayer and our faith and our belief without substance, without essence, without anything, for our well-being. And there's just a lack of evidence in that because we do not understand how to operate in that. If you take away God and you put universe, it's tit for tat. Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, it's one energy. And so when we are programmed to be misled, whether it's intentional or not, is what it is. Because of that, we don't want to go outside of what we know. And anything outside of that is wrong or sinful or demonic or ungodly or whatever. But we're not in a godly place. We're not in a Christ-like place. We're not in a well-situated place. We're not in a whole place. So what do you do when you are depressed, when you are suicidal? Like Queen Tina just said, I remember it wasn't Obama. It was before Obama. I think it was the Bush administration. And he had all those tax cuts, all those tax breaks for the rich, all these companies. And when something caught up with those companies, those big time companies, Fortune 500 companies, and those corporate leaders had to pay back money that they bonused off of. They didn't lose anything. You bonused off of something you shouldn't have had. You were still millions in the bank. There was a story about a man, white rich man, old man, had enough land where he had to drive himself from his main home to his guest house in a golf cart and killed himself. Had his family in the damn house, the family, the dog, everybody in the house. He done drove the golf cart to kill himself because he had to pay back additional money that he never lost, never missed. You see what I'm saying? We have to think about what drives us crazy, suicidal, what drives us to depression. Life is going to happen. Shit's going to happen, excuse my language, but it is. You have to understand how to narrate your life, how to dominate your life. If you are deep in the church, I don't understand as a Christian, a Black Christian, why your life is so jacked up. I don't understand why you're going to Joel Osteen, TD Jakes, all these churches on a bus. I don't understand that. But it's so, I'm serious. Does that make sense to you? Joel Osteen, when that flood happened down there with Joel Osteen, he was trashed because he didn't have anybody in his church because he just had it renovated. Wouldn't give any of the donations to the church. YouTubers busted him saying that there was no flood in the church, around that church. Why would he let people in? He had excuses after excuses. But then he turned around and had the whole congregation crying and holding hands, praying and giving money to help people in need. When you have more than enough.
That's the trick.
We're depressed. That's what I'm saying. We're depressed because you're disillusioned.
No, well, what it is, the problem with us is people, our answers, it has been beat, instilled, embarrassed, everything into us that our only help is going to church, not to the mental health doctor, not talking to each other, not doing anything. And most of the time we spend our time alone looking at YouTube videos and enjoying seeing fights and this and that. Doesn't a dark hole absorb other dark things, and that dark hole gets bigger and bigger? This is why I feel like our people, we absorb so much negativity, is because of the mental health state that we're in.
I agree. And that's why but it's a decision though. Why is it, like I said, that rich white
Pablo
man that had millions of dollars in the bank? Yeah, it is Pastor Pablo.
I wonder what Pastor Pablo trying to say.
Black Christians are in a state of depression because being Black in and of itself in the church is a sin. You're not allowed to even explore your Blackness in there. You're being taught how to submit to a white God and a white power structure. that's still under the control of the Roman Catholic Church, basically. So the whole system is basically against us from the church on down. And even if you did go outside of the church and you sought professional help, you got to think about it. 2% of clinical psychologists are black, and if you boil it down to Negroes like us, 1%, because only one of the two is going to be pro-black. The other one is still going to be trying to fit into white society and doing whatever it takes to avoid their own blackness. So this is literally a crisis that we're talking about here, and it spans from the church to everyday life because the system itself is against us, and that's why it's so much. This is war being waged against us, and what we're looking at is ethnic PTSD on a massive scale.
I agree with that. I agree, and that's why
I agree.
I've learned like the situation with TD Jakes. Okay, so I know a lot of you have looked at the media with TD Jakes and P. Diddy, but I had an issue with TD Jakes before that with the situation with Michelle Lau. Okay, I don't know this man. Okay, you all don't know me. You all don't know any of us on this platform like that. You'll never know anybody fully. So I had to back talking to my mom with TD Jakes because I had an issue with him. Why are you promoting a woman, your daughter, that's stealing kids? I don't know the whole story. So I'm on my business.
It's mental health.
Umar Johnson.
It's mental health. Just like we got Jay Morrison. You got to be a sick individual we have a problem. And you took the biggest problem that we had with the Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they burned down Black Wall Street. And
wake it up.
Money. You use that to make money. You took the depression of Black people who were looking for hope, hoping that you really doing something. And you draw all that money just so that you can go and splurge it on yourself and trick the whole community. Now the whole community is broken again.
Exactly. And I think they about to close the what they call that? The Black
the Legacy Center.
Legacy Center.
It's like it's closed. It's closed.
Yeah, 4 minutes up from me. Yeah, they closed. Yeah. He was a scammer, man, and Black people can't afford to be giving up no $500. They just be real. Like the average Black person can't give up $500, and he took advantage of that. Like he said, we already going through some stuff. I know some of the family members that are struggling, and like close family members who like some people better keep lights on and stuff. So it's.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like with TD Jakes, Jay Morrison, all these people, like. Why don't we?
Vicky Diller. That's why I had a problem with Vicky. These old people worked. It wasn't young people she scammed. She scammed old people who worked all their life, and them old people couldn't even die in the houses that they bought because she scammed them. And our own people are using, and that's why I have a problem with Vicky Diller, and will always have a problem because when I seen them old ladies that testified, they was like my grandmama. My grandmama died because my own family members scammed her after they scammed her. So we have a problem in the Black community without looking after each other or feeling each other's pain.
And how can you show your face doing something like that? Like, and then you got
because there's platforms for her to do it. Jay Morrison still sitting up here giving meetings. He's still giving meetings.
Vicky will be at the reparations rally in DC too.
Why wouldn't she be? Why wouldn't she when she has plenty of followers? That's what I'm saying with TD Jakes and all of them. Like, as long as somebody wants to believe your nonsense, you know what I'm saying? If that works, that's what I'm saying. There has to be self-accountability. We wind up depressed and oppressed because we counted on this person, this group, and that group, and they let us down. They screwed us over. They lied to us. Like, you don't have enough godlike sense, no essence, no common sense to say, something's not right about this. I don't know Oprah Winfrey, but I don't feel like Oprah Winfrey is for me.
What's going on, Team MC and lovely lady? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm depressed by Vicky Diller's wig. I don't know. She should be depressed by it, but the things that go on underneath that wig, these thoughts to scheme and scandalize and hustle your own people under a false hope, is crazy. It's wild.
Those are called curly braids. Get it right.
Ha. Ha. And, I don't want to body shame her. Like, teach his own, teach his own. But at the end of the day, like I said, like, everybody doesn't know no better. And, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be like, if one of us do something wrong, I promise you on this platform, we're going to talk about it. I don't think anyone's going to go around talking trash about one another on our own platforms. If it don't work for us, we're just going to walk away. But there's no reason for it not to work for us here. And that's what we want to invite you all to. I don't know Vicky Diller. I don't know Tariq Nasheed. I don't know Dr. Umar Johnson. It just doesn't work for me, though. I don't know the ins and outs of that. It didn't work for me. So instead of talking about it, I'm going to go ahead and make different moves. That's what we do here. We make different moves. If it don't work for you, it don't. If it don't work for you, I'm going to wonder, what do you want? We do. Some of us
do you think it's a criminal act when you get a doctor, when you get Moise Watkins, aka Boyce Watkins, when you get this individual who claims to be
not teeth, man.
He's a financial professor and all that, but the man has not run a successful business, and he's scamming people based on false hope that's based on our depression. We know we are under economic deprivation, which in and of itself is a depressing state to be in. And then you have this individual with a huge social media following. He's a university professor. Hey, I know how to run finances. This is what I taught at the school. But yet, when you look at the truth behind the scenes, he scammed and hustled Black women out of their money, their names and whatnot. And also, like I said, he has not run a successful business himself.
You forgot one thing,
what do you do with
Pablo.
that?
You forgot one thing, Pablo. He taught you how to get some brand new teeth in your mouth.
I got them shiny whites.
What though? That's
Like
what I'm
Tariq.
saying. Let me share with Boyce Watkins, and it's funny to me because I still get little notifications from him with under Flight Nubian Queens, and I'd be like to myself, "Damn, didn't Michias drag him? Didn't she drag him through court?" But you're still doing it because Michiex has more things going on. Ain't got time to be worrying with you.
Let me say this.
Now he with Tasha K
From my
now.
understanding, he's with Tasha K. Tasha K is in mental health herself because you're running around
Exactly.
and you see the reports. You had Michi on the stage. That's why I said, what why are we linking with people just because they're popular? That's the only thing we find happiness in, looking at videos.
But
down
are you
in
happy
each other
though? Are you
and
happy?
We
running
love drama as a race.
Yes.
A race.
We love drama because we absorb trauma.
Oh well, then you ain't. I'll tell you what though. To answer that, you're not winning, and I almost want to call you a chosen loser. You're not winning with Boyce Watkins. Like I said, Michi X drug him to court, but we're here right now with Queen Tina Berry, who was part of Flight Nubian Queens.
And I don't want to turn this show into giving them highlights. We really need.
That's what I'm saying though. But that's what we do.
We have Black women
about things.
Yeah.
You ain't. Are you depressed, Queen Tina? Are you depressed? You was with Boyce Watkins doing the right thing, and now you're doing your thing. You ain't depressed. That's what I'm saying. Shit happens. We have to start relying on people to define our happiness and our success. If what I do, what we do, don't work for you, that's cool. We empower you to do what you want to do. Don't come being disrespectful over here. You don't even have to be tuned in over here. Do your thing. High five. You get that support if you act right. That's all it is. Depression is a choice.
Yeah.
Something's always going to happen. But we as a Black community, it seems like as a Black community, it's like we've been kidnapped and held hostage, and somehow our captors have dropped the key. We see the key. We're sitting here chained and bound. We see the key. We're like, fuck, I'll just throw the key across the room. Why? Why would you keep yourself in bondage? That Stockholm Syndrome is a real situation. We identify with things that have traumatized us because they're so close to us. The Black community traumatizes the Black community. And then we fault one another when we want to come up, when we don't want to hang out with the lesser thans, the have-nots, and we don't have to. Everybody on this platform has done their work, done their due diligence to pay it forward, to empower. We don't have to sit here and keep lingering with you. If it ain't for you, it's not for you. I'm not going to waste my time and my energy because that's what you want. That's
don't
your
want to lose
depression.
focus on we don't want to lose focus on it. The whole point of this topic is how we are struggling from depression, and the systemic things that has been going on in America has led us forget our depression, forget this is what we're operating in a state
And
of depression, and this is why we are in the destructive state. Most black women are suffering from PTSD after having kids, but they're not taught to speak or say anything about it. You know, most of the time you hear women who overcome and made it, but we got people who are putting their babies in the oven.
yup,
We
and we
got
talking
Mm.
about the
people who are
How
kids.
do
taking their
we
kids.
It's a lot of black kids that's depressed. I know a lot of them.
Yes,
One of my kids went through it.
children.
You know, what I'm saying one of my children went through it and still kind of dealing with it a little bit. But yeah, they even kids
Hmm.
dealing with it. Yeah,
Me
so
too.
you know, it's taboo in our
how
community.
do we
We don't like
address
talking about it.
how do we address the reality that no matter who you, if you just sit down and you just talk to the entire diaspora, whether it's the UK, whether it's America, whether it's an African country, whether it's an Afro Latino country, the one thing we all have in common is the depression that we're talking about, and that begs the
Yes.
question: what's the root? Where is this coming from, and how do we get to that root so we can deal with it? I mean, step
I
one is
think.
to admit that it's there.
How
Hmm.
can you admit that it's there then when you
Step
don't
two
have
is
the
stop.
support?
Yeah, but we have
If
to
you don't have the
support each
support,
other,
how
and
can
that's
you
the
say it's
problem.
there?
Yeah,
We
separation
have to
is key
support
to our
each other.
freedom. That's true. Once we separate, we would see how much easier our life would be.
Well, we are not going.
I
We
don't
have to
know.
really
With
look at
this though, with
reality.
this
We're not going to be able to.
situation,
Hmm.
yeah, with this situation, that's not the solution. You can't separate. It's like
Hmm.
running from your issues. If I'm in
Yeah, you
Indiana and
can't separate, and
I'm
then
not,
most of the people are killing
yeah,
themselves and killing each other. I don't want to separate with a bunch of fools.
because if you realize, if you think about it, with youth suicides, you see more non-black youth committing suicide.
You
Not
used to
saying that it
see
doesn't happen,
more of it,
but what
but we are
happens is,
catching up. We're catching up fast, and that's the whole
you
point.
know why though,
Our
Queen? You know
children,
why?
because of
It's
the things I
because
said
this
earlier.
generation.
No,
Go
it
ahead.
came from the other generation too. The thing is that we have been taught, it's not even this generation. It came from our grandmothers and them, of ignoring the problem and being too embarrassed to go to a therapist. We've been
Right, but when it
stigmatized
comes to
that
suicide, though, I think with suicide with our youth,
we got little
with the
black
black
kids
youth,
committing suicide at a higher rate than what they normally do.
and that's I think it's because with this generation, they have a different perspective about religion. They don't have the same foundation. So with this generation, I think with the previous generations, I think what kept us from killing ourselves was not wanting to go to hell. Is a
No,
sin you're gonna go to hell?
yeah,
Again,
You don't think that
religion,
yeah.
maybe social media had an effect on that? Because it seems like maybe I think it's to me I think it's social media because it's like
hmm,
previous generations
Well, you
we
got the
didn't
little
have.
girl. What about the little girl that hung herself? She said she was being bullied in school. Little boys, there's lots of stories, but we only focus on the stories about police brutality, and we stuck on one topic that affects us, but we really don't focus on all these stories that's out here. We'll see the story, like I said, the mother who put her child in the oven, and you look, wait a minute, this is a black woman. This is not normal for a black woman. We ain't talking about children. We got all these black men killing their babies. You Google it right now. You can see all these black women, young black men lately, killing their babies like it ain't nothing. You see these girls having abortions. We used to didn't have abortions and stuff. You at a higher rate. It's the whole society, and because we don't address it, and when we go to therapists, they treat us like we are part of the white society. That's why we don't really get help because we don't have black people in position to lead our people or tell our people or to help our people.
we don't.
But go ahead.
We don't. It's a shame. When we look at abortion, for instance, think about this. They were having an argument about, the rate of, the percentage of people that are having abortions out of incest or rape or molestation. Do you really think people are going to the doctor and tell them that's what happened, especially if they're going with an adult that knows that. The statistics are flawed, so I don't understand why we're not having these conversations for healing. If it's not working, it's not working. I'm not omitting God, high five to God and friends, whatever works for you. If it's not working, it's not working though. And when it comes to mental health, as far as psychologists, therapists, whatever, it is textbook. So your situation is not unique. You're just textbook. You're just generalized. You have to find it within yourself to say that you're worth what you want to be worth. And I'm saying that because I've come from a crazy background. I'll never say if I can do it, you can. But I'm telling you, there's no reason why you shouldn't want what you deserve. And I think in the Black community, we're so programmed to see ourselves as less than. And I'm sorry, I'm just not with that. I'm not. I am a Black woman. I am a mother. I'm a wife. I've been a high school dropout, teenage mother, molested as a child, all kinds of things. I'm a nurse. I do all kinds of things. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. And when you do, that's depressing, because I think to myself, if I snap off and kill this motherfucker, I'm gonna be in jail. That's so depressing, to let you run around being ruthless and reckless and ratchet. That's what depresses me, to have a Black community that is fit for this world. We are made for this world, for this planet, and we are made to feel less than. The fact that we have a target on our heads shows us how great we are. We are a threat to everything. Everything. Jews have said it. Whites have said it. Everybody has said it that knows the truth, but we don't want to believe it.
Can I interject something?
Please do.
When you use the word program, I'm glad that you are as strong as you are. Thank you for that. But you use the word program, and nobody wants to talk about it. And I don't care how many people think I'm crazy. In the last 2 to 3 years, you've been seeing a lot of crazy stuff. Black people being naked in supermarkets, rubbing stuff on themselves, breaking up things. Black people being in the middle of the street with guns, shooting at people wildly. People have been talking about this. I cannot find the video that says that mRNA is a program and it should not be in your body. I personally believe that these people are being programmed to act like this. And I'm only talking about this because one of my friends, who's older, opened up to me a couple of months ago and said that she's been feeling depressed lately. Now, she's got one of those shots in her. And the only reason why I keep sending out texts for everybody is because I text her every day a happy saying, just to keep her on the up and up. She hasn't talked about being depressed again, but this is a product of what that pandemic brought on, whether people want to believe it or not. And if you don't want to talk about it, how are we ever going to get to a solution? But I think that a lot of the recent crazy acts have been programmed.
When you say program, Lynn, I think we have to clear it up, because that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they're programmed. And when you say it, we really have to think. I don't think they're programmed and you hit a button and you just start acting crazy. You're programmed. Those are
That's
the people
exactly
that
what
you
it
see.
is. But that is
But
exactly
I
what
don't
it
believe
is.
it's that. No, ain't nobody sitting at the computer and saying, okay, we're going to program this person to do that. I think it's
They
just a
have the information of
destruction.
everybody who got that shot.
But I don't think there's nobody. We have to look at reality. Yes, it's programming, but ain't
Why
nobody
can't that
sitting
be
behind no,
reality?
because ain't nobody gonna sit here and say, well, we just gonna take this random person and make them rub stuff on them.
But it's
I
not
think
No,
that
random.
no,
we're
hold on. I don't
listen.
know, Queen.
I'm
I don't know.
think.
I
Let
kind
me
of.
finish. Let me finish making this point because I have to get off. I think it's programming, but it's programmed to self-destruct. It's kind of like a computer. If you know how computers work, like we are, if you get a virus in a computer, the computer just starts acting crazy. So yes, it's programmed, but ain't nobody programmed to say go do this and do that. Yes, the stuff that we're putting in our bodies is programming us to do it. And what I was going to say, the depression. Most of these people are not killing themselves. They're doing weird stuff, like you say. So those are the people who have a strong mind, but their programming is out of whack. You see what I'm saying? Because we're programmed to walk, we're programmed to read, we're programmed to talk. But when you give it a virus, just like a computer, it doesn't function the right way. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think nobody's just sitting there saying, "Hey, do this and that." I think it's programmed for us to self-destruct. If you get what I'm saying.
So look at
I
the
don't
guy
know.
who went into who was running people off with his van. He said that his car went out of control. He was not driving it. He thought he was not going to go to jail because he know that he did not do this on purpose. The car was programmed to do that. Whether you want to believe it or not, he's in jail for the rest of his life, and he's sitting here thinking, I'm not going to go to jail because I didn't do this. All those crazy things that were happening, the people looked like they were stoned, like the lady who attacked the Uber driver. When they went to ask her what happened, she did not recollect any of it. That's why I say
And
it's
hold on, no.
programmed.
You know what though? If you look at there is a documentary about the dude that killed. I'm with Lynn on Queen Lynn on this one because there's a documentary with what's his name?
I mean, see, we really got to look at reality and not be conspiracy theorists.
They
But when
want
you
you
look
to
at
think that
program,
way so they
no,
can
it's not
continue to
looking
do
that
this.
way. Look,
Okay.
understand? Have any of y'all program computers? Understand, your brain is made like a computer.
But we don't know how mRNA works.
No,
Hold on,
but that's what
hold
I'm
on.
saying. The thing about it is a computer. You have
He's
to
talking about
understand a
MK
computer.
Ultra.
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying. In a computer, when we went to school, there was a Trojan. There was a Trojan virus. A Trojan virus was the virus that sit in the computer and your computer be working fine. And then all of a sudden, it opens up and little by little, the computer starts losing files. It starts acting up. It starts reprogramming itself. Then you had a worm virus. A worm virus sits on a hard drive, and then little by little, it eats away the brain. So when you say programming, no, they're not sitting there. They just put the virus in us so that your brain can go out of whack. So I'm agreeing with y'all, but to say that somebody's sitting there and saying, "Hey, you go crash a car or you go do that," if they had that much power, they would use it at the people who are in power to do it. The programming, yes, but there's nobody behind.
It's the people
Nobody's
in
I think
power
pushing
that are
You
buttons
know
doing
what?
it.
in
I think
every day.
I think there's like
I'm gonna
a
have to agree with it. Go ahead, Pablo.
I think there's like a middle ground to this logic because
Yes, because
there is
the
programming going on and there's also like she's saying the reality side. So the reality of it is if I take a ethnic group and I target them with these GMO
yes,
bioengineered chemical processed foods, I target them to take these injections and whatnot, but then I plunge them into a system to where say you did want to go seek mental help, you were criminalized. How many times do we see black people going for regular mental, well, not regular, but for mental health issues, and it costs you to get your children taken by protected services. It costs you to be arrested, or they want to take you in there and lock you up in the mental hospital and put these experimental drugs in you. So it's like darned if you do, darned if you don't. So it's like it's kind of like a combination, a lethal combination of both, because we know that we're the only ethnic group that just can't go seek help without there being a possible consequence, and 9 times out of 10 there is a medical consequence for us, because we also got to talk about the medical apartheid going on here. You didn't
exactly.
see them market the vaccines to any other ethnic group with fried chicken, weed, and gift cards, only to us.
Exactly. Because that's why I was saying in a computer, if the reason why people hack you and put in a virus, when I went to computer school, they would put it in the computer and sit back and wait for things to happen. So there's nobody just saying this, but when they made the virus, that's where our problem, uh-oh, when they made the vaccines and stuff and they learned to put this virus in us, that's why children die of vaccines, because the vaccine gets in there and it's supposed to do one thing and it's telling the body stop breathing, act crazy, do this, do that. It's a program, but it ain't a program written like, okay, now go kill yourselves. That is probably what the program is saying in the vaccine, but everybody body is different. So there's a programming to a certain
I
extent.
mean, hey,
You get what I'm
man,
saying?
Maybe
here's
we should
everyday
do some,
programming. Like we've uncovered that the industrial prison complex and the record labels are owned by the same people. The music that they're pushing is programming
It's a
music, and we've already
program.
gone over on the
Exactly.
program that the human brain, when you listen to something, you sit in front of a TV And like we went over it before when I brought up why Winston Churchill wanted a TV in every British household. The human brain is going to go from critical thinking to receptive, meaning able to be
Exactly.
programmed in between 2 to 5 minutes after watching something. So they know. So the thing that we have in our hand, is a mobile device, is way worse than the TV ever will be because we have 24-hour unfettered access to it.
Can I ask the
And
panel one quick question, and I'm going to be done? The people, if you looked at those cases in the news, the people that were accused of doing stuff, saying that they didn't do it, how do you explain the fact that they were adamant that they did
Because
not
their
do it?
brain is being
Hold on.
rewired. Their brain is
So
being
let me
rewired
say
by for
this.
whatever. It's like this. If I was programmed, we would all be programmed to do the same thing. You would be doing the same thing. If you can't drive, you're not going to drive a car off the bridge. So everybody that gets something, and we're being programmed, like Pablo said, you're being programmed like most of these kids. They see shooting and guns, and okay, they get this in them and this and that. Then they mimic what they see. So I'm agreeing with you, Lynn, about the program. I'm just not agreeing the way that we are understanding how we're being programmed. You get
So
what I'm
maybe we
Y'all
should
saying?
use a
sound
Because
different word. So look at this. Maybe we should use a different phrase because when we talk about programming, I do think like, when you watch a TV program, you're being programmed. Your brain is, you're being influenced, right? So I understand what Queen Lynn is talking about with the
yes, I
programming.
think we're saying the
Maybe
same
we should
thing.
use a different term. Maybe we should use maybe like a interjected interference. I don't know, because what she's talking about is real. And not to get off
Yes,
topic of depression, but with what's his name that killed
but that's
Kennedy?
part of it.
But the dude that killed Kennedy. So when he was in jail,
Oswald.
there's an account where he said he didn't remember that shit. And there was a doctor, they called a doctor in, and he was in there influencing his mindset. You can watch. I'm gonna find out, and I'll put it up on
Yeah.
the
While
website.
we at it, let me go and throw that plug. Make sure y'all check out We Control You on the 28th of this month. We talking about stuff
D
like that.
Mays,
Mhm.
that is exactly, because programming is the right word to use. Because just like D Mays said, we program you. What are you talking about in your documentary? How is the
How
food and
about we use the
everything?
word hijacked? Does that make sense? They
No,
were hijacked.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
but
So what do
programming
you
is
call like
right.
sleeper cells? So what would you call sleeper cells? Because they have sleeper cells. Like that is a real thing. So how do we identify those kind of people?
But
Because I
see,
think
the
that's what
thing
Lynn's
is, okay,
talking about.
put it this way, just like they programming the fruit. What is a GMO? A GMO is saying they put in something in the fruit and it's telling the fruit don't produce seeds. Look this color, look this way, be shaped this way. We're saying the same stuff. I'm just saying that there's nobody behind a computer pressing a button every day. Once it's in your system, whether you got it through GMO foods, whether you got it through chemtrails from them spraying it in the sky, whether you got it through the vaccines, is making your computer that you are running with your energy, which is your brain, go out of whack. So you're gonna have different reactions when you're in a pressured situation, like the guy with the car. He didn't do it, but the car, he did it, and he don't remember because his brain is going in and out, just like
Too many
just.
people in cars have been doing too much stuff, jumping
But
over the
it's not just
guardrail.
cars. That's right. That's because people in cars, and then you
It's
got
the
mothers
car
that's
is
doing
being
too many.
programmed. The car is being programmed to do that.
Okay,
If we
Lynn,
don't
listen.
have that
It's not.
conversation, we're never going to
It's
get
not
anywhere.
just because that's not a reality.
It is. Then because
Oh
just
man,
Oh Lord.
I'll tell you what. Hold on, listen. Hold on, really quickly, because y'all know I can go on a tangent. Really quick.
No,
agree
but
to
look,
Hold on.
disagree.
I think we should do a
Agree to
listen. There's
conversation.
nothing
disagree.
to disagree until you understand how a computer works, and then you will understand how vaccines and GMOs work. I just explained to
You know
you
what?
You
that
have to
approach,
understand how these
and
evil people
Hold
are
on.
working.
I
I think.
understand that
Hold on.
because I
Listen,
took
listen.
computers and stuff. But if you believe that a person is sitting here and telling, like I just said, you said there's a lot of people with cars. That is correct. That's people who are driving cars, and so when their brain goes out of whack, they doing impulsive things that has to do with the car. When you have these girls that have babies, they're doing impulsive things with their children. When you have these men who have families and kids, they're doing impulsive things. It's the situation where the brain goes out of whack. So I am agreeing with you with programming. I'm just not agreeing that they're saying, here, let me push this button and ride this car off. It's in the system, it's in the things we eat, it's in the chemtrails and stuff. We're talking every day about vaccines, chemtrails, and all that. So, what is the point of all that getting in your body? To reprogram your brain, to make your brain make you act out and do something crazy, just like a drug. If you took a lot of meth, you're gonna probably do a lot of stupid stuff. So I'm agreeing with you. I'm just not. It's like the programming is in the things that we do, where they redoing our DNA and redoing the way we think. Because a normal person that thinks, you're gonna get up every day and do hum- humanity stuff. You're gonna get up, maybe take care of your family, go to work, eat, and stuff like that. Most people who brain are reprogramming, they're not gonna be normal. And then if you was normal and you went abnormal, then it's gonna be abnormal for you to just wake up and then do something and then you don't remember. That's because your brain was reprogrammed. I lay my plane.
So let me say this. I think I'm
Solutions.
sorry. I'm gonna have to agree with Lynn on this, and I want to have a conversation because we want to get down to the solutions and the root of depression. And when we talk on these platforms, our team here, we are so intertwined and we're so deeply connected. Sometimes we forget we're live because we have these deep conversations, but they affect all of us. So I would like to have a different conversation with what Lynn is talking about on a separate show so we can cover all that and have discussions and we can all agree or disagree to agree, whatever. We always come together in unity on this platform. So never come on here and think that you're going to get some argument and some drama. You're not. But we don't want to deter from the conversation because that's a whole other conversation, again, which I agree with. But back to the root. Yeah, make sure y'all like and share and subscribe.
But okay, we are not veering from the conversation because you can Google it while we're on here. There's certain foods that we're eating that's making us depressed. There's certain things. The chemtrails. What is the chemtrail spraying us for? When we talk about chemtrails every day, what is it spraying us for, and what is it doing to us?
I know
Keep
I'm
saying it's
depressed
killing
because
us.
these people are spraying
if
and
you
not
look
letting me
at
grow fruit. So I'm depressed about that.
So with the GMO study, here's my thing. With the GMO study, I've studied this and researched this to a certain extent, where they have critiqued how certain hormones and whatnot can affect.
Stop
certain
right
groups
there.
of
Let me ask you
people.
this. Stop right there.
Okay.
How did they critique it? They programmed the GMO is a virus that they program. So I'm just stopping you right there. I'm gonna let you finish. But when you say critique, what you mean? That's programming.
Okay, let me show what I mean by critique. So we have all these conversations about gender and sexuality, all this bullshit, race, all these things. But they have really, they have really strategically broke down how certain GMOs affect Black people over non-Black people.
Exactly.
Like now, for instance, like certain things. So if you look at those things, it's so broken down and so strategic that you can put something, a food coloring or a dye or whatever, and in Mountain Dew, and it causes impotence for Black men, but not white men. It's
exactly because they have programmed. That's because when you put the dye in your body, that
I
body goes
understand
into
that.
your system.
That's understandable.
When you put the dye, the body it goes into your system and it tells your body do not produce. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's not a person sitting there pressing a button every day. The things that they're giving us to eat and to do is reprogramming our body. Whether it's depression, whether it's being potent, it has to get into the body. They found that out a long time ago. That's
The
why they're
button
sending
pushing
things
is
to
only
program
starting
us.
now during the pandemic. This is the
button
time I'm talking
pushing
about, the
been around,
pandemic
Lynn, or
stuff.
we wouldn't be here.
No,
The stuff been around.
The
It's been
stuff
around, or
that's
we would
happening
not be
now.
in a situation that if it's been around. If it wasn't, we would already be a group of people sticking together.
And I
just don't got more advanced.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so when we're so upset about the lack of mental health support, the lack of Black psychiatrists, like we're upset about it, we're complaining about it, we're bitching about it. But as healthcare providers, as people that know healthcare providers, why don't we have those people as advocates? Why don't we have Black?
Because there's not a lot of us. Because most doctors, out of 100% of the doctors, out of 100% of the doctors in the field. Now, see, if we had doctors that was reprogramming us, that was learning what the people who are programming us is learning, we would have a remedy. But we have been the programming, that's why I said the programming started a long time ago when we were programmed through our ancestors not to read and write. Don't When they beat us and stuff before slavery and stopped it, they stopped it. We were programmed not to be not to be part of what we're part of. You know what I'm saying? We're programmed not to be doctors or lawyers, only to be basketball players and football players.
But we do have doctors and lawyers. They don't have their own practices. You know, I know
Why?
that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we listening to this conversation and you don't know somebody that has these access, these resources, and you're not having a call to action? There's no call
Out of doctors,
accountability.
out of 100% of doctors in America, only 5% of them are black. And out of that 5%, you got your every doctor there is. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
so
that's the bad part.
here's the thing though. So hold on though. At that 5%, how many of them own their own practices? That's my thing. Why
The
don't
problem
you
is
want
that there's not enough. Why we won't work better? Because we've been programmed not to want better. If that's the case, we would not be killing each other.
I don't know. I am an LPN, and people are you RN? No, I'm an LPN. Why does it matter? I do what I do. It's no different. So why would I not have my own? I can't. There are certain things I can't do as an LPN. It's like having like I'm a CNA instructor. I have to have an RN to sign off on that. It doesn't mean I can't have my own business. I can write you a check to sign off on what I do. This ain't your shit though. It's mine. You see that mindset. I have enough money. If I'm a lawyer, why can't I help somebody that's in need? You make X amount of dollars, X amount of money an hour. You can't help. You can't pay it forward. I don't understand why we're so greedy, but we're so pissed off. But we're not.
Because it's a mental health thing. When did we become greedy?
That's the question.
Let me tell you something. I don't like that term. You know, you're acting black, you're acting white. I hate that. I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Point blank. I move out. If you have a problem how I articulate, I don't care. You don't move how I move. You don't move how we move on this platform. I don't give two damns. What you think does matter if I'm not correct. I don't need your attaboy, your validation, and a lot of people need that. That's why we're so depressed, because we feel like we're left out, we're overlooked, we're overseen, we're overworked, and nobody cares. I'm here to tell you, nobody does care. Like Les Brown says, when you have problems, 80% of people don't care, and the other 20% are just glad they're not them. It's not
Can
them.
I interject again? When you said that people don't pay attention to you, how many people in the trans community are depressed?
A lot of them are. That's why they're being weird and telling somebody some lies and shit. A lot of them are. A lot of them are. They ain't had with that bullshit. If they were, they wouldn't be in the goddamn closet. Don't play with me. Whether I'm in the closet or out of the closet, I'm black all day. They don't change. I can't switch that shit up. I wouldn't. I'm not depressed about that. Period. Point blank. I will do what I want to do. I choose not to have limitations in my life. If I go for a job and I don't get it and some white person gets it, I'm not thinking to myself, well, they got it because they're white. It just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get what I want. We have to stop feeling like we're victims. Shit sucks.
I mean, Queen, I'm gonna disagree with you with that, because that is a problem. A lot of black people don't get jobs because they're black. That is what we have dealt with. So they'll sit up here, and that's the problem why a lot of people are depressed, because we've been taught to ignore the truth and just be happy.
That's true too.
That is a major thing.
So you tell me who says that doesn't have any talent and doesn't have any skills. So
there's a lot of people. Do you know that I had a degree in computers, put in hundreds and hundreds of applications, and hundreds of jobs, and then ended up at the TV station? This is what has happened to us. We have to face our reality. You don't have to be a victim just to face reality. You can't change something if you don't face reality. You don't have to say, hey, we're a victim.
It also depends on the attitude of the person.
Mm-hmm. Now, that is true. Like what my attitude was that I'm not going to keep begging nobody for a job, so I went out and created it. I have a computer degree, but I have a cleaning business and I'm doing restaurants. So like Lynn said, it does depend, but to sit up here and say we're not victims is a lie.
I'm not saying everybody's not. I'm saying, like I said, I've been victimized in a lot of ways, but I'm a survivor versus a victim. I'm not saying I've not been victimized, but at the end of the day, for me, it's a choice. If you don't, if I go job after job, and all of his white counterparts and I don't get it, then maybe. But if it's not for me, then Queen Tina, you created your own. We've all created our
Yeah,
own
but that's
ways.
not the job I wanted. Just because I created it don't mean I wanted
You
I
don't
can
want
see both of
to be
your
in the business.
points.
it.
I can see
But
both
There
your
is no
points.
point because the national
Yeah,
statistics say that
no,
there's racism that stops a lot of black people. We know this.
exactly. And you have to
there
see
is.
how you're going to deal with the
Nobody
being
else
beat
is suing
down.
because they didn't get the job and corporate. How many corporations been sued because they were being racist? So you got to face the fact. I'm not saying be a victim and stuff,
A
but
lot of
you got to
sued.
face the truth.
So why? That's what I'm saying. For me, I think I try to empower people to do your own thing. If you can draw, you can sing, you can write, whatever you can do your own thing. I don't understand
But
that
she's saying that
there's
everybody's mind is not as strong as that because they've been beat down so long. They
Yeah.
just want to give
because you're
up.
depressed. Because you're depressed.
That's
I
that's
get
that's
it.
what she's getting to, the depression part.
That's what the whole
Like
point
like
about
I
this
said,
is depression. And if a lot of people would just, like you said, we want our people to make their own, queen. Like what you're saying, you're right. Make your own. You should feel this way. But if that's the case, we would have our own football team. We wouldn't be begging for reparations. See, our people used to be like that. That's why we had all them black towns. But then they were burned down. And after they were burned down, the next generation didn't take that attitude and rebuild nothing. We ain't even rebuilt nothing in this generation.
because we're
So we
depressed
can't.
and oppressed.
Yup.
We're more
And why?
oppressed and depressed.
Why?
Right,
But why?
Because
Because
right.
the last generation didn't have it as hard as us. They didn't. They built it, and then when they found out how we built it, they came in along with rules and regulations to make sure we couldn't rebuild again. So you done backed us in a corner as a cat. And most of our people are God or universal or whatever you want to fear people. We don't believe in just going to kill a whole race of people to get our way. So we sit
no,
there.
We need to
that.
rethink that.
Yup. Now I agree with you on that, Lynn.
What did you say, Queen Lynn?
I said we need to rethink that way. How we back into the corner and we just sit there like a scared cat? No, we need to come out scratching like the other cat.
Absolutely. Absolutely, but what's the fight for when I can just move out? We move how we move with the UEO. We move how we move. Everybody doesn't have to agree with this. I said I don't care about what anyone else is doing. I don't care about what they're doing. I don't know them,
Hmm.
but we do what we do. And we have this conversation and we grow together. We learn from each other. I can be wrong. I can say what my bad. Whatever. That's what we do here. It's not that difficult. If you're mad because you're not coming up, what do you want? Have you made your needs known? Are you even in
But
pursuit of what you want?
listen, you got a lot of people like I was in school. When I was in school, it was a whole bunch of us as black people. Out of all our black people, maybe one person got a job at the company we wanted. You can see it. Walk out your door. Go to these corporations. We have black people that get just as much education as white. We work just as harder and we're left behind. That breaks a person's spirit.
Don't forget about the pay discrepancy
That
too.
is true, but then they have to then
Exactly.
try to turn it around, get with like-minded people, and build. But we
But
don't
the
want to
thing
do that
is,
because we can't trust each other.
exactly, 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 because we
Yet
want to be
we
around.
can't trust each other yet. We're getting there.
That's
Yeah,
not. We don't trust each other. But why do you trust? What has
it's
anybody else
easy to
given
be a
you to
nurse.
give you a reason?
It's easy to be a nurse.
It's
I'm
not
not saying
easy.
it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy as in paperwork wise, but you are accepting more to be a black nurse than it is to be a black corporation owner.
It's
You're
not
not gonna go
easy.
into a white company and it's easier to be a nurse than to be a CEO at a white company. You can, and that's statistics. There's no way to get around it. That's
So that's
statistics.
what I'm saying. So for me, as a nurse, as an LPN, not an RN, as a nurse, it's not easy. But for me, I can't
I'm
go to
not
certain
saying it's
things.
not easy as a nurse because I have a lot of nurse friends. I'm saying your
Right.
position as a nurse, most black women are going to go be nurses because it's easier to be a nurse than to try to be a Fortune 500 company CEO, because 9 times out of 10, we all know on this phone call, them white people is not finna let your black ass come up from their company and run.
Exactly. You're
And
not going to get picked
that's
easy.
my point, though. I don't want to come into your shit as a nurse.
But right
there's
now,
a
that's
lot.
all you have.
No, that's what I'm saying, Quinn. No, it's not for
They
me.
wouldn't.
Like I said,
There's a lot of black people who try to buy NFL teams. Do you know they won't allow them? What about all the black people that got together that tried to buy the mall? I forgot, it was in Georgia or somewhere.
No,
The people who
California.
owned it, California, because they were black, they did not get it. This is that's what I'm saying. There is black people trying, but the obstacles is against them because they're black. That's just
yeah,
the truth.
I think a lot of that's on us, though, because here with me in Indiana, like maybe like a few years ago, I didn't know that grown men played on leagues like locally. And like I was supporting those things. My husband was like, he was like, "Why are you hanging out with these people?" He's like, I was so impressed. I didn't know that grown black men had their own leagues, even women, like soccer leagues, all kinds of things. I thought
Yeah.
that she was dope. But for those people like D Mays, for instance, in Georgia, in the community, people are doing things that people don't know about. So you think that everybody's going to make it to the NBA or NFL? No way.
But we
Why
shouldn't have
wouldn't
to
we
make
support?
it to the NBA and
That's my
NFL.
point,
We
though.
should
That's
have
my
our
point.
own.
If locally, that's my point. If locally,
No, the
if we
point that
all
I was
had these
making is that
things,
it's easier to be a black nurse than it is to own your own football team. And that's just the point, Angie. It's
being a black
easier to
nurse
be
ain't shit. You in this? I mean,
but
you in
most
the
of our
corporate
people
system.
are going, but I'm saying most of our black people, how many, when you be a nurse, how many white CNAs do you work with versus black?
It's more black, actually
That's
more
what I'm talking
African.
about. That's what I'm talking about. Because it's easier to be accepted in those positions than to be in a position of power.
Can I ask a quick question?
I agree.
Miss Kathy B, what's your input on this?
I agree. And when I came out of school, I was a
Yes.
CNA. I totally agree. Well, what I was
That
saying
would
was discrepancy with when it comes to pay. There's a huge discrepancy with that's when the race comes into play. And that's why they tell
yes.
you don't discuss your salary. But when you start discussing your salary, then you find out, well, why is that person getting paid more? Or why is this
Oh,
person?
absolutely.
So there is
Who's
discrepancy
music?
there.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's easy to be a nurse because I ain't went through nursing school. I'm not saying that the curriculum is not hard. I think a nurse is more important than the doctor because the doctor barely does work. But the problem is, we're
Agree.
talking about owning corporations and stuff. Most of these black people don't own their own law firm because even these judges are corrupt because they got the same lawyers and people who's playing music.
Do you hear?
Hello?
Okay, I don't know where it came from.
I think it's my husband playing music in the back. It's my husband.
Yeah, I'll
Go
come
ahead.
around that way. But yeah,
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like with that situation, like I get what you're saying, Queen Tina. But like for me with nursing, like again, even as a CNA, I don't understand like 40, 50-year-old CNAs. You're lifting people like this is grunt work, and they're
because
good.
most of them are not, most of the CNAs I know cannot make it through nursing school. Go back
I
to the
don't agree
lack
with
of
that.
education.
What I've seen is most of them have been so complacent and so in their
No,
routine. That's
no,
what I've
no,
seen.
no. You know, because most CNAs don't even barely have a high school diploma.
That's what I'm saying. Most of the ones I know, you can go to in high school, like your junior senior year, you can go as an elective for like cosmetology, CNA work, all
They,
that stuff. So you see a lot of young people go into that without any understanding of the foundation of healthcare, and they wind up staying in it. And you look at them, they're like 20, 30, 40 years old, 50 years old, and they
because it's
don't move
easier
forward.
not to fight with
It's the same as working
racist
at McDonald's.
society.
It's the same as working at McDonald's. My husband knows somebody
But
at
it's
Hardee's. Been there for years. That's it's what
yes,
you know. But my thing is, as a nurse, for me, like I've done other things where that's not my end game. I can own group housing. I can teach classes, all kinds of things. As far as you have so much experience, Queen. All of us do. There's nothing that we cannot do. I feel like we hinder ourselves, especially with programming. We feel like we're
We're
not
talking
good
about
enough.
depression right now, and you right now like I it's like this. I don't agree with that because there's a lot of women. Like half of my cousins are CNAs, and they did not finish the 8th grade, so they're not going to be a nurse.
Why
They
wouldn't
don't
they?
know because they are not educated. Life happens. They raising kids. They before you know it, you at the same job for 10 to 15 years. Some
Can I
people
ask,
don't understand the
CNN is
math.
certified nursing assistant?
You
Yes.
said what?
CNN, certified nursing assistant?
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
You only
But I
have to
see what you're
learn the
saying, Queen
role.
Tina.
You
Life,
only have to
life does
learn.
get, life does take over. Life takes over,
So
and sometimes it's not what you want to expect, and you don't know how to get yourself out of the, I'm not want to say a bad word, but rut that you're in. For me, I
and
don't, my
that's how
kids
life works.
continue to tell me that I'm
That's what
depressed.
I'm
I'm
saying.
not
That's
depressed.
how life works. That's how life
Yeah.
works. You wind up depressed, unhappy, unwell because your situation. Again, for
But a
me,
lot of roadblocks lead you to that depression as well.
Hold on one
again,
second.
Roadblocks beyond your control.
I agree with
The
that.
whole
That's
point, the
why.
whole system, and that's what I'm saying. The whole system has been a roadblock. And what Angie, what I'm saying, what she's saying is not realistic because if it was, we wouldn't be in the race that we in as Black people. We wouldn't be in the situation because you have Hispanics that went down that road, but Hispanics were not lynched and beat, and they was not laws put against them for not getting jobs and not being able to walk, work, and stuff like that. So you have to really understand um, that the system has played a major part in the destruction of our people, and there's nothing else that we can say about it because this is why our people are behind in everything. If we weren't, we'll be like the Mexicans. You have Hispanics say that they are being affected by the system of white supremacy, right? But they have not been held back. Their race of people wasn't taught that they don't belong here. We have Black people in America that think they from Africa and not here in America. So we cannot expect everybody to think like us because we are supposed to be the people that's reaching back, pulling those people up. Some of our people are in depressive state. It's depression. When I went through college, it took me years and years to just to finish where I was because I went through depression. And I remember giving up. And it's just that I had a boost in life and then I went back. I made it out. So I'm one of those millions out of my family and everybody that's from the ghetto. So you have a couple of Black people that make it out, but there's not all the people are not coming. So that's why I said I don't want
And
our
they're
people to
not.
feel bad because they're CNAs and stuff and everything. Some people enjoy what they want. It wouldn't be no problem being a CNA if it wasn't the money system in America. Because some people enjoy taking care of other people. Some people enjoy cooking, whether it's at McDonald's or something. So that's not the point. The point is our people have not been trained to have their own, and we're too far gone. We just need a next generation. When we like me, I'm trying to get the business. I'm telling y'all to sign up for Sophie because most of us is blocked with getting financial help. You seen that the opportunity. What is it? What is the fund with the Black people that was giving out money for specifically for Black people because we've been held back, and then all these people went out their way. They got money already to make sure that we couldn't help each other. This is what we have been dealing with. This is why depression is piled on top of piled on top of and piled on top of our backs. It get depressing, like hoping that hey, when is our next chance gonna come? When is the next person gonna come around and help us? Every time we see a little bit of light, they make sure they crush it. That what is it? The Fearless Fund. The Fearless Fund was supposed to been to donate 20,000 to Black women. Then
Yeah.
I can't get that now. I just started. I can't get that now. So where does my hope go to? I stand in line with all the rest of the white people, and of course my credit ain't like theirs, and this and that. So it go. We keep having to. They keep moving the goalposts. It gets depressing, and some people are not strong enough to keep fighting. They just settle for what they got.
And again,
I
that's
can
what
agree with
depresses
that.
me when people feel hopeless and helpless. That's what depresses me, and it doesn't depress me. It makes me sad. affects me, but it just makes me work harder to make it make sense for people. And if you don't get it, then I respect that, and it's sad, but I get it. But that's what I'm saying. Like for me, again, I'll never say if I can do it, you can, but I'm certainly here to empower you and help you and support you and encourage you. If that's what you want. If that's not what you want, then I'm not gonna waste my time and my energy because I don't have time for it. I don't think any of us do. But like I said, for me, I was always on honor roll. If I skipped school, I was still on honor roll. I was proud of that. I'm very intelligent. I can be a little dense sometimes in my, just my comfortability, but I'm very intelligent. But like I said, I was a high school dropout after my sophomore year being pregnant. I always wanted to be in healthcare. When I dropped out of high school, I never saw that happening. I was working as a server for years, and I love what I did. You know what I'm saying? So when I didn't know how I was going to get to where I wanted to be as a nurse, but it was going to happen. And I made sure it happened. And shout out to my king, my husband, that supported me with that. But it was not an option. My success is not an option. My joy and my peace is not an option. And that's how we have to think. I get people, the odds are against us.
A lot of people may lose their determination.
That sucks. That's no different from anybody. Everybody has to strive. If you are not in it for a long run, it's not for you. It takes tenacity. Shit happens. Life will disappoint you. But how do you respond? How do you react? What is the consequence of you doing or not doing? When it comes to depression, shit sucks for us as a Black community, but it does not have to. It does not. I'm sorry. Do not come over in my atmosphere and act crazy with me. You'll get this business. And that goes for anybody's platform. If you mess with anybody's platform when it comes to me and our relationship, you're going to get this work. I'm not ratchet. I'm not out of line. I'm not disrespectful. But when y'all are not aligned and you're not right, come on now. What is it that you want for your life? What makes you happy? What don't you want? That's the problem. Nobody knows what they want. What is your why? Why do you work where you work? Why do you say what you say? Why do you think how you think? I don't know. That's how I am. That's just me. I'm always that way. There's no rhyme or reason. That's why we're so depressed. We don't want to talk about the issues that have affected us, the trauma, the disappointment, the abuse. The shit happened. And it sucks. What are you going to do? You're not going to catch me in no compromised position. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like, your race, creed, color, religion, ethnicity. I don't care about none of that. Don't come over with that shit. When I'm depressed, it's because I'm so tired of dealing with people that don't get it. Our people that don't get it. It's very tiring and taxing for all of us on this platform to do what we do. Y'all don't know none of us like that. I'm so privileged to know these queens and kings on this with the United Empires of Akibalan.
Yes, but Queen,
you're missing it.
Yes. But like I said, we want to bring awareness to our people out here that's being oppressed. We want to let them know it's not about putting them down and what they're not doing and stuff like that. What the message is to get mental health. Start talking to each other. First of all, admit that we have mental health problems. We'll sit around and call, girl, she crazy. She's so crazy. We speaking. Health means you're crazy. And we need to get rid of that stigma. We are having a lot on our backs. We are stressed as people, whether you with UEOA or not. As people, as Black people, we need to address the issues that we are strained. We got mothers that are raising kids, and then we wonder why our kids are running around shooting each other because they are stressed. We have to find ways to handle our stress with each other, and we have to find ways to address that. It's okay to say you're depressed. Because back then our women weren't depressed when the grandmamas and mamas and stuff and everybody were helping us raise kids. Now we got this stigma. All y'all do is drop y'all kids off with y'all mama. It was a point that we all, our mamas and them helped us raise kids. Ain't they the professionals? Ain't they the teachers?
Exactly. That is something that's a downfall. Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Can I make a quick
Yes.
suggestion? People who have YouTube channels, like myself, who don't really use them, one way for you to try to feel better is just if you can upload a video just talking. Whatever you have to talk about, just talk, upload the video,
Well,
see if
you
you
don't.
get.
Don't
No?
get them to upload, because you got so many people that are angry and hateful on social media. They can go upload a video saying they depressed, and you got 100 people calling them ugly and saying that they stupid and saying stuff like that. That's
I
a
didn't
death
look at
trap
that.
for a
I
depression.
didn't, yes, I didn't look at that side because I was gonna
The
say, see if
first
the
thing,
comments can help you. But yes,
yeah,
you're
no.
right.
How about we put something? How about we put something on the UEOA website? I'm gonna put that link in the chat, and we
Yes,
can put
yes.
those conversations. There's no reason for
Yes,
anybody
we're
to
gonna
be
have
hateful or
more of these
angry.
conversations. Exactly, we're gonna have more. What, like I said, it's me and my daughter talk now. She was being depressed. I was being depressed. I didn't even know she felt the way she felt. It's kind of like the conversation started easing in when y'all having your girl talk, when you and your husbands and your friends and stuff is talking. See how I react, because if people start laughing at you and telling you they don't want to hear that and something wrong with you, then those are the people you don't need to be around. We need to start talking in our close circles, people that we're close to. I just don't feel right. I don't feel like getting out of bed today. That's why we got so many black people putting on so much designer labels and stuff, because they're hiding their depression. I just
Okay.
don't. I don't feel like this today. I don't feel like I have the girl that's with me. Sometimes she said, I don't know what's wrong with my mind. I just don't feel like nothing. Having a headache for 2 weeks. You stressed. You depressed. It's
You know what's
okay to
more
talk.
important though? You need to make sure you're talking to people that you can trust,
That's what we
that
need
are
to do.
supportive.
Well, not even finding nobody. The people, some people around each other say they friends and they not. I have a friend that is a nurse and everything, and she stay depressed, popping pills left and right. All she do is go to work, take her depression medicine, and go home. And I be saying, girl, you got to get out of that. We think that I'm gonna just tell you right now, the medicine might help you feel better, but the medicine is not gonna stop depression. Depression is gonna
It's
stop a
not.
lot when we start sticking together. We are here, like Angie said, as UEOA to support those, not to put nobody down, not to do nothing, not to tell people that you should have did this with your life, you should have did that, why you ain't doing that. I found out that that's not getting us nowhere. Let's start with the mind first. When people feel better, people produce better. We got to
They
start
do.
100.
making people feel good about where
Amen.
education level they on, wherever you living. If you eating noodles right now, if your bills is doing everything, there is a tomorrow, and life gets better. Whatever you don't see right now, and all of us, I don't look at go to church, but I know that a lot of the Bible writings was stolen from us. And I always have this section, because whether who wrote it, whether I quote from a book or whatever. Now faith, being the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You might not see where you want to be today. You might be get up, open them blinds, get you some sunlight. Focus on what make you happy, because the world is going to show you every day why you should be sad. The world is going to show you every day why you should be depressed. The world going to show you every day of why you should kill yourself. And you going
Amen.
to
Speak.
life. And you might not
Amen.
be happy, but you got to live for something.
And
That's the
here's
message
if
I want to
you're not
drive
happy
in
though,
today.
but
But
if
it
you're
don't.
not
We're not going to
happy,
talk about what. Go ahead, because
if you're not
Go
happy,
ahead.
why aren't you happy? What makes you happy? That's something
No, don't
people.
even ask them why they not happy, because that's not a message for a depressed
No,
person.
the question is what makes you happy though. If you feel like you're not happy, what makes you happy? If you're depressed, what would elevate you? What do you want? Say what you want. Speak it into existence. Because faith without works is dead. You can pray and believe all you want to, but if you're not part of your own life,
Or
then
that,
what do you
what
want?
the saying says, know thyself. Know yourself. Know that when you start, I had a call the other night that somebody I know that said that if they got to get sent back to prison, they were going to go in the car and blow their brains out. There is a lot of people out here depressed, and we need to talk to each other and stop trying to pick out each other what they're doing and stuff. Some people, it is not about them not being happy. Some people are in a situation right now and they don't see no hope out of it. It's not about being happy.
Right. So
it's about right now, somebody might be having their bills piled up, and every day they going to work, being that CNA, being that McDonald's flipper, being that car washer, you doing DoorDash, doing Uber Eats, still trying to pay them bills, and then as soon as they pay the bill, it's time to pay it again. I'm talking to those people. We can't sit up here and tell people this and that. It ain't about being happy. It's about having a hope to live and knowing that life will get better if you keep on trying. Knowing that you don't have to be like these rich people. You don't have to wear designer labels to be something. If you out here, like I used to tell, advertise, we refuse to advertise designer labels. Not saying I ain't got a designer shirt. But what I told him, I said, somebody love you, they gonna love you for what you do to them and how you make them feel. It's how a person is feeling. Like, then the happiness comes later. Be proud of yourself. Be proud that you wake up. Be proud of.
And maybe happiness is another right word. Maybe happiness is another word. Maybe peace and joy is a better word, because with that, like you said, with the individual going to jail, if I go back to jail and kill myself, well, why don't we ask that person, what is going on with you where you even would go back to jail? How did you want, we don't invest.
No, let me finish saying what I'm saying, because see, you cannot say that stuff to depressed people. That's why a lot of people do not want to say, because if they're depressed, what this person got set up, a person lied on them. They were getting out of a relationship and they lied on them. And so that person wanted to control that person's life. So they went down and told a lie so that person can go back to jail. That's why I said we got to be careful of how we give information, because everybody's lives is not the same. I'm from the trenches, where people are from the trenches. Some people family are going through. I heard that one girl went through, lost her kids and everything, and she just turning up the bottle, drinking. But we've been talking to them. So that's why I was trying to do this message today, because, and then some people got everything. Somebody I know, they got planes, boats, and they got everything, and they feel so depressed that they don't want to get out the bed each day. And I'm trying to figure out every day what to say to them. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not about this and that. It might be about how that person feel at the moment. A person could be missing their family, a closer family member, or somebody could be missing a child. They could have had a dead child. So we don't know people what they is, but only thing I'm here to tell people is that you just gotta keep pushing. Get up, open them blinds, meaning pull them curtains, get out them dark spaces, breathe, get out in the air. I know it's hard because they done made our streets now a streets of destruction. You can't even be safe walking down the street. Look at some flowers. Listen to, like somebody on here said, prayer and meditation. Whether you pray or whether you meditate, find some hope. Maybe that's the word, Angie. Hope, not happiness. Find some hope to live and move on the next day. Find hope, because if you keep pushing and speaking positivity, that's what I like about you and D Mage. When we first started, y'all was like, we need to speak positive, show positive images and stuff. Because that's the antidote. We need to show more positive images about ourselves.
Right.
We need to do more positive things for us. We need to show more positivity instead of keep doing these stories over and over again. Police shot this one. This one got killed. That's one reason why I really stopped doing a lot of YouTube.
Right. Because you can't take it. That's why I don't watch the news.
I'm tired of that being in my spirit because they
Right.
want to fill us with all these stories and they don't never stop.
Negative.
They don't never stop showing bodies or don't never stop showing this and that on TV or on the internet or TikTok. Me and my
Black
daughter talking
bodies.
about how you get on there and then you will see a death of a child and then next thing you know the algorithm just filling you up with all these people who done lost people. We gotta take control of what you listen to, what you feed in your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
The
gotta
important
feed
thing is to
like
keep
you
pushing.
say, like you say, Angie. You got clear as conscience. I don't on your channel. You. I think I don't know if you still do it on Fridays where you speak positive. You know, we just got to get more positive with each other.
She does daily affirmations
I
on her
do.
webpage.
Yes,
Please put your
I
information
do.
in the chat.
I
yes.
did, Queen. I
That
did.
daily affirmation is what we need. Every day saying something positive. We need to start flooding, like I didn't see it at first, but we need to start flooding our black channels with positive images. We don't always got to show a dead body or give that highlighted story. Let's fight in silence and show our greatness in public.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly. Change the narrative.
exactly. Yup, that curly girl said they keep our people spirits off balance, and that's the truth. We be off balance because we ain't got.
Put that up, Queen. Put that up on the screen. Shout out to Curly Girl. You rock. She be everywhere. Y'all be everywhere. Queen Kathy B, Queen, y'all all be everywhere, all over the place,
Yes,
and
they
y'all
do.
support. Yes, yeah. That's what I said. Y'all have more time in the day than I do. I'll be sleeping by 7 o'clock. Queen Tina's still working. Queen Kathy's always working. Queen Lynn, we always doing stuff. You know, D Mays,
Yes,
Pablo, we're always doing stuff. So we're never here to entertain. And it's so cool that you all come in and have these listen to these conversations, interact with us. Because we
yes,
bounce off of one another. We, like I said, sometimes we forget. I forget sometimes we're live because it just flows for us. You know, we're honest with one
yes.
another. We want you all to
And
be
this
honest and
show,
open and safe.
this show, I want us to put up on the website because I want to do what you said, Queen Angie, is start putting our shows on our website. Let's start having a positive place on the website, a positive, safe place for our people to come to. That's what we see. Where we can build all day, but I thought about it. We can't build a building if we all arguing and don't trust each other, and we can't do this. This is why the Black House, the Legacy Center, crumbled. Because all these people coming in there, they giving their money, but they thought they were gonna have something. First of all, we got to get our people mindset. Why are we building this building? If we build this building and you got your shop next to mine, is you gonna help me and I'm gonna help you? So let's build the Black mindset first. Let's uplift our people's spirits. Put your thing in there, Angie, with clear as conscience. She gives affirmations every day. Go on her website. Get your affirmations. We need to put it on our website. We need a safe space to be Black.
We have one, but no one's using it.
This is the United Empires of Aquiline. Well, we need to put more positive stuff up there.
We have another
That's
one, but nobody's using it either.
Melanie,
what.
I'm
Melanated
gonna put it in the
people.
chat too. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Melanated people. Go
Yeah,
over to
melanated
melanated
people. Yeah,
people.
but no. Melanated people is not just putting out no positive stuff. I'm talking about a safe space where we can be positive. Melanated
You
people
can
is
be
no
positive
different from
over there.
social. Yeah, but
It's
we
social
talking about a
media.
space. Yeah, but when they get on there, they gonna see everything that's on everybody else's social media. I'm not saying don't go to melanated spaces. I'm saying we need a place to build a Black mind, not just to gather with a bunch of Black people.
That's what it was built for us to go and pick each other's brains about different things.
Yeah. I mean, I love melanated people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the point I'm trying to make is like if you go on our page, like Angie page, for example, when you go on there, it's not going to be filled with different stories like, hey, this police shot this person. Look at this dead body here. You remember Mike Brown? What about Sandra Bland? On her page is going to be a positive affirmation. You get what I'm saying? We can go look up that stuff later. I want a page on UEOA, and then we're gonna call it the positive thinkers, like Curly Girl said. Let's go on there. When you go to UEOA, let's have a tab for positive thinkers or whatever we call it. And then when you click on there, we have beautiful stories. We have beautiful images. You go on D May's Mind Game page. Most of the time he have that, but most of the time on his community post is positive images showing Black people loving and hugging each other. Those are the images we get in our head, because what we said earlier was programming.
Mhm.
And then on programming, when we need to reprogram our mind to accept positive things about us. You see what I'm saying? So the more we accept positive things about us, how do we get to hug each other? How do we get the Black family? Then we start thinking different. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said I agree with you with programming, but we being programmed that we got to reprogram ourselves. When we keep seeing these positive images, it make you just want to go. When you see, if you flood a bunch of Black love stuff, just like people say when they see babies, "Ooh, I got baby fever. Ooh, I want a baby." Let's see this when we have a bunch of positive Black people and Black community. "Ooh, I want to be part of that community. Ooh, I want a positive Black man. Ooh, I want a positive Black woman." We have to reverse the program.
Yeah. And really be genuine and compassionate, show some mercy and grace. You know, it's interesting because as a Black community, we show, and we've talked about this here on this platform, we show a lot of mercy and grace and leniency and forgiveness to other groups of people.
Exactly.
And we're so hard on one another, you know. So show some mercy and grace. We all know somebody that's been through traumatic situations. If it's not us, it's someone we know. And a lot of people we know, you know, we don't want to talk about those things, though we know what's going on. But if she ain't gonna talk about it, I'm not gonna bring it up. You know, but you know somebody's hurting, you know somebody's struggling. You know, in my household, we're blessed to have resources. And for me, working as a server in a restaurant at $2.30 an hour plus tips, my situation is no different right now as a nurse, making almost $30 an hour. It's no different. I'm still in the same circumstances. It's a mindset. But what I've learned is between my husband and I, my husband's A1 on this. I've had female friends as single mothers that have called me to help them. They're homeless. They're out in the streets. My husband is the one that'll fork over $1,000, $1,500 for somebody, and be like, if you can pay it back, you can. If you can't, you can't. It ain't nothing off his back.
Yes, and that's a beautiful thing. Yes, we need to get into that. It's okay to help each other, and what we need to get into that it's okay to say that you need help. We got Pastor Pablo coming up in the house. I think he's been listening, and I know it's time for us to close out because we've been here an hour and a half, and I want this show to be put on our website and stuff so that we can start. I really want our nonprofit to start doing things to address the mental health conditions in our community, because I believe and I feel like, just like the universe told me many things, that it starts in the mind. And when we start addressing our mindset, that's when everything else is going to fall in line. This is why nothing else is working. Pablo, you there?
Roger that.
Okay, I want you.
Keep them gator boots off.
Before he says anything, I want y'all to, everybody that's listening, please go to Clear as Conscious Holistic Life Coaching website, sign up and get those positive affirmations. We sign up for everybody else channel that brings drama, that's beefing, that's this and that. Let's start filling ourselves with something positive. So go to her website and sign up, because I look at them affirmations. They come through my email, and I already know what I'm expecting when it comes through there, and I go ahead and read it. I read one today. But go ahead, Pablo. I want you to wrap this up for us.
I'll just land the plane on stop bull skating. If you're tired of what we're going through, you're tired of the PTSD, you're tired of walking into a place and other Black people are so ashamed of ourselves, they don't even want to acknowledge you. If you're tired of it, if you're suffering from the things that we've been talking about on this program, then that means this is a call to action to you to get your boot on the ground, get your Black dollar involved, get your hand to the plow, tap in with us, go to the websites, get on here with us, donate to us, help us spread this thing, help us get this thing off the ground. Many of you know we got a flag planting ceremony coming up real soon, and we need the community's support. We're not here to bamboozle you. We're not here to shout about a bullshit out of your money. This is real. We take this serious, and what we do is real. So if you're tired of it, or if you are suffering from it right now, then help us build this thing so we can have our own resources, because only us can save us. And I just leave it at that, and I'll land my plane with a bleh.
There you go. And that's what it is. So we hope we help someone. Please, again, this is not about clout or followers. I hate that word followers. We want to network with you. We want to connect with you and have meaningful relationships. And network relationships is important. When it comes to relationships, it means being accountable for self and holding our counterparts accountable. You've seen us here on this platform. We've agreed and we've disagreed respectfully, either way. But there's always still love and there's never going to be any discord. We're always going to keep growing and we'll filter through everything to make it work. If we're not for you, find someone that is for you. If you can't find that, then make your own way. There's no reason for us to be depressed, oppressed, and hindered anymore. There is no reason for us to choose victimization over surviving and thriving. I'm never ride or die. I'm not ride or die with you. I'm not getting your passenger seat, but we can always be ride and thrive. We want to thrive with you. That's all we want. Whatever group you with, whatever organization, clique, whatever it is, that doesn't matter to us. If you're about Black community, Black growth, Black well-being and sustainability for the long run. This is not Tulsa, Oklahoma no more. Black love is on scene. She's shooting on site. Okay? So we're not playing. We're not playing. We're not asking. We're not getting petitions and requests to boycott or protest. We're not doing that. I don't like being on these conversations for the masses to critique and depict. I don't want to be a casualty. I'm not big and bad, but I'm about that life. Okay, I'd hate to bury someone under somebody's grandma. I ain't going to jail. I don't piss for where I drink from. I don't drink from. I don't. This hair ain't made for. I can't do jail. So we're going to find something else out. I'm 42 years old. I don't like to fight, but we can go down like that. We don't want to do that. If it's for you, unite. We will support you. We are very, very busy. We understand that you are very, very busy. But this is meaningful. It's going to benefit you.
I am so sorry, y'all. My phone died, so I'm going to wrap this up. I had to run back to the car. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I can't end the live. That's why I was trying to get up. But finish what y'all was saying, and we're going to wrap this up. And we appreciate everyone tapping in. And we're going to do this subject again because there is so many people dying in secret. As I said at the beginning of the show, go to the beginning of the show when I was reading out the statistics and things, how depression and mental health is affecting the Black community, and how I've had about 5 people that I used to work with at a TV station commit suicide, and one just committed suicide last year, and you wouldn't have never known. They you would think they had the best lives. So I just wrap that up. I land my plane and I let y'all, anybody else have anything to say before we leave?
Like she said, like you depression is so greatly masked and so downplayed. People don't never want to tell you when they're depressed, when they're hurting, when they're broken. So pay attention to those things. If you go to my website with the clearest conscience, I do have coaching, as far as paid services. If y'all need some help, I'm telling you right now, as a Black community, I don't want your money. I do want your commitment to your well-being. I charge because people are not serious about being well. I ain't got time for that. If you're serious about that, I don't want your money. Just do your part. Do your part.
Yeah, but a lot of people has to have the strength to do their part. So if somebody just goes to the website and looks and gets your affirmation and go back, it's a start. I just tell everybody, take one step at a time. Take one step at a time. Look up affirmations. Stop listening to so much destructive music. Stop looking at so many destructive shows. I had to program myself not to look at a lot of stuff. I cannot stand half of these 2B gangster movies no more.
I can't stand half the rap no more. I can't listen to a lot of YouTubers beefing anymore
Me
because I'm
either,
ready
Queen.
for us to move on. And with that
Yep.
said, we're gonna wrap this up because I am in my car with a little short charger that I'm bidding down
Oh Lord.
holding, and I have to end it. But I
Making it work.
appreciate all the panel. I appreciate everybody here. And if any of us on this panel is dealing with depression, we should be able to come to each other together. We have a vision. Like I said, we're gonna create a safe space.
This was wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, we are creating a safe space on the website, and you're gonna see more positive images about us. Like I said, go to Mind Games, go to Clearest Conscious, and let's start reprogramming the Black mind. Peace.
Y'all like and share. Please like and share. Subscribe. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Good night. Thank you for coming.